this model of the campus behind us, what does that represent to you? You know, in terms of seeing that unveiled this morning.
So, I mean, for me, like a school, it really sort of represents the transformative power of education. And I was talking earlier with parents about how school is where your formative memories take place in your childhood. And that's when I see the building, that's what I think of. This is a place that is going to shape so many Cambodians. You know, it's going to help craft their personalities, it's going to help them realise their potential, it's going to open up opportunities for them. And that's what that campus represents to me. You know, you can see with the enormous sports pitch, you know, you can already picture the Shrewsbury team sort of celebrating after they've won a big match. You can see the swimming pool where you know there's going to be swimming galas held. You can see the classrooms where people are going to get, from their amazing teachers they have here, get imparted with the knowledge that will enable them to go on and make a difference in this world. And with a school like Shrewsbury now here in Cambodia, the potential for young Cambodians to go on to ever greater things is phenomenal. I'm really confident that some of the future leaders of Cambodia, you know, we've had a couple of Secretary of States here with us this morning, future Secretary of States in Cambodia will have walked through the doors of Shrewsbury, they will have had their education here. And they will be really well equipped to make a difference to Cambodia because of that. And the last thing I would say is I think this Shrewsbury will make a difference because you have the value of inclusion. I know that you run some fantastic scholarship programs, and that means that people who are from families that, you know, wouldn't be able to afford a Shrewsbury education ordinarily will have the opportunity to come here, and that really broadens the impact that this school will make. Well, I mean, it's one of the oldest schools in the UK, over 470 years of history, and so that kind of gives it a pedigree and a prestige. And it's got some, and I know we're going to come on and talk about this later, it's got some very famous alumni. But in my world, in government, there are a lot of people who've come through Shrewsbury School, and it's been recognised that their time at Shrewsbury has been formative for them. That one of our former Deputy Prime Ministers, Michael Heseltine, was an old boy.
Yes.
But in diplomacy, in my world, we've got a number of former ambassadors and high commissioners who went through Shrewsbury School. So we weren't there at the same time, but one of our high commissioners to Nigeria is an old boy of Shrewsbury School, and I worked in Nigeria before coming to Cambodia. So the impact that the Shrewsbury School has made within government, within you know, the area that I work in, has been profound.
I see. So let's talk about alumni then. Of course, Charles Darwin he was controversial, of course, in his time. Beyond Charles Darwin, who would you pick out as perhaps one of the most inspiring members of that alumni for yourself?
The person that I really admire and look up to is Michael Palin, I would say. And I hope that some people in Cambodia have heard of him, but he was part of the Monty Python comedy group, who had a transformative impact on alternative comedy in the UK and globally. Produced many famous films as well as TV shows, there's now theatre productions. But what I admire about him is not only that he achieved something great in comedy and the arts, but that he is somebody who's really open-minded and curious about the world. He now does a lot of travel documentaries and programs, and he's genuinely curious about other cultures. He's interested in other people, he's interested in learning. He's not there to tell people that, you know, Britain does everything right. He really appreciates and values other cultures. And unusually for somebody who's been in the public limelight for as long as he has, you know, there's no, you know, unpleasant stories about him. He seems to be, from everything that I've seen, a thoroughly decent person. And that's quite rare these days. And again, those are the values that you acquire in your childhood, that value for other people, that cultural affinity, that curiosity, and that being a decent person yourself.
Yeah, character. Ambassador, thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for coming here this morning and for spending what could be coffee time with me here talking. Thank you so much.
Thank you.